In my opinion, it is up to the government to make the initial efforts in reducing the greenhouse gas GHG by governments putting policies and laws into the place to reduce and restrict the amount of the toxic emission in the atmosphere. It will greatly help the environment. So the government will also have the power to tackle the large-scale GHG emission producers, of which a person has no control of stopping those produced. If the majority of the world governments agreed to common policies and laws, it would have a great impact on the societies, as the people of the countries would move towards a more sustainable world. The government has the power to point all of the society's efforts into a more sustainable direction of living. So for the government to encourage the individuals to reduce their GHG, it starts with law and policies by forcing people and industries to limit their GHG emissions. Appropriately, it will have the positive outcomes for the world. After the policies and laws, a more educational approach can take place in a more local scale. Cities and states can advertise and promote healthy and sustainable living with their own areas. By doing this, they can tackle the issue that have the most effect on their particular location. So these promotions can be taken place in place like state fairs, conventions, or art galleries, and be promoted in creative ways to get the residents' attention. Well, these promotional campaigns could be strictly paid for from money made by the fees access to the companies or the individuals that break the laws in place to limit the GHG emissions. Well, this is just one example of an action the government can take that is beside the normal policies and lawmaking. So, along with the government starting the efforts into a more sustainable city, individuals will still be responsible for carrying out the new policies and educating themselves on what efforts they can take. The government will give a good start in that direction by properly placing laws in large companies and by promoting a more sustainable cities, but the people still have power to choose whether they want to be participated. If both the governments and the individuals of the world make efforts to a more sustainable society by reducing their GHG emissions, the world will be able to hold a healthy life into the future.